Where you at, Sushi?
I beat you, Bronx. Yeah, I can cook it for you. Did your family celebrate the 4th? Your aunt and uncle?
Mm,
Kinda, not really though.
but not really. Oh, well, that shit is around the corner. Nobody has said anything yet. I remember, like, earlier this year, people were talking about going to Jimmy House for the 4th.
I mean, find out. I get free cancellation until July the 1st. You heard me?
Mm.
That's already about to be Friday. Like, this week flew by. But Friday always drags. Alright. I don't know why you following me. I ain't giving you a damn thing. Move! You done got real used to begging for shit.
Turn the light on then? Yeah, let me go get the speaker. You get up and turn the light on. You get up and get the speaker, then. Or you want to get the speaker and let me turn the light on?
And you can do both when you get up.
You know what?
I'm so smart, aren't I?
No. You're lazy as fuck.
Really? I'm lazy. I went to work today and cooked 2 meals and cleaned up. Y'all see that shit? He gotta get up anyway, but he want me to get up talking about I'm lazy. Why can't you just do both when you get up? I know it's gonna be some trolls in here today. Picture FBI wiretap. both the DBs.
Hmm?
You dropped both the DBs.
I dropped both of them. I'm gonna stood up. I forgot this on my lap. Your lazy ass ain't even. Yo, what up?
You said I ain't did what?
Pick 'em up.
I just saw it, babe. Why I gotta be lazy? I was not lazy enough, because I looked and saw it. This is spousal abuse.
So there's another one of these motherfuckers, like one of them. You watching Fight Club? One of these other motherfucking, like, I don't know, insider people was found dead in his jail cell, apparent from suicide, but he wasn't the motherfuckers who know a lot of shit too. So was it really suicide, or did somebody whack his ass? What you mean?
Start from the back. There's no black polish I was looking for.
You can just cut these out, right?
You can? Do you want me to show you how to do it then?
It's just a
Okay.
loop.
Yeah, you just got, but you gotta do it the right way.
I can't even see this shit. Oh, nigga, I'm about to get some sleep.
Or what? When you can just easily loop it out. After you do one or two, you'll get the hang of it. But some of them are harder than others. Because they got that hair attached to it.
Apparently that's what we want to tell you. So. Who? Yo, the motherfucker who came up with, like, what's that, McAfee, spyware or whatever that shit is? McAfee, yeah. The motherfucker who invented the McAfee, malware or spyware. Yo, this motherfucker was found dead in his prison cell. So he over in Spain somewhere. And he was he got caught on tax evasion and some other shit, and he was about to get extradited back to the U.S., but he ain't make it. That motherfucker ain't make it back over here, bro. And then cause I say this shit a lot too. I love my life and I'll never commit suicide. Just let everybody know, I'll never commit suicide, never ever. And apparently this motherfucker, he done said the same thing several times publicly. And he had got this weird tattoo that said whack with a S, like a dollar sign in front of it, like SWAC or something, which means I think people are gonna kill me, and if they do, this tattoo is proof that I didn't commit suicide. If you get a SWAC tattoo, I guess. But so he had that tattoo, and motherfuckers say goddamn somehow in a maximum security prison, he was still able to commit suicide when he was under 24-hour surveillance. Sound like you know scissors or cut the tangles.
Go ahead, get the scissors. We might need them. Normally I don't, but you're right because of that hair. Don't cut my hair.
What hair?
Don't cut my hair.
What hair?
My hair. No, what do you, why you do it like that?
Because they're tangled, so I can get to the individual ones and just pull it out, right?
I mean, you could cut it at the top where the loop is. You could just cut the loop. And then it'll split in two instead of you having to still pull.
Oh, that's the thing. I don't want to have to cut too close to your real hair.
That's what I was saying. Don't cut my hair.
No,
if you
cut
do
it
that.
towards the end.
But if you cut it at the top of the loop, that will make the process easier because you're not going to have to actually still pull it out.
Yeah, but I can't tell sometimes with a loop on your hair. Is that...
Yeah, you cut my hair, I'm going to be bald for real.
See, like this right here is more than one times you looped it around. Or is that your real hair again? See, that's why I can't tell sometimes.
Friday. I know ain't nobody in here celebrating 4th of July, but since y'all off work, though, what's y'all plans?
What's this dude's name? Damn, I can't think of his name. Mark Dice. Let me look up this shit. Mark Dice. The meaning of 4th of July. Do I still have my Wi-Fi off? No, it's not.
Download today.
What country did we declare independence from to celebrate the 4th of July?
I don't know.
What is the purpose of 4th of July celebrations?
I'm going to turn it to the guy in the USA shirt.
Fireworks. A little more specific. A little more specific.
Celebrating our independence.
There we go. A little more specific still. Independence
Day.
from a country. Step in here at any time. Which country was that?
History was not my subject. I slept through that class.
And happy 4th of July.
Thank you. Happy 4th to you guys.
When Jesse Ventura, John Wilkes Booth, and the other founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, what year was that?
1870 something, but I don't remember the specific year.
What's the purpose of 4th of July weekend?
I know, celebrate our independence.
From Colorado,
A little more
then fly to
specifically,
Arizona, then
please.
Back to Utah, then back to
I really don't
Colorado.
know.
Damn, Sean.
I don't know. I mean, that's all I know.
I'm revoking your celebration. You're no longer allowed to celebrate. Celebration canceled. Name 2 of the founding fathers of the United States.
Oh man, you had to start there, huh?
What's going on out there?
Hey, no, I asked him, not you. Okay, name one more.
George and Lincoln.
No. Hey, pipe down over there.
It was supposed to. You're not putting this one on the.
We're going to have to deport you. You don't deserve to be an American.
Yeah.
Get out of our country. What year did the Declaration of
Wife said
Independence
she
get
bored.
signed?
I know that's right, Shaman.
It was you. You first.
Oh,
Watch your mouth.
I'm sorry. I don't remember, honestly.
1875?
What year was the Declaration of Independence signed?
God. Come on, man.
Don't give it
Off the top
away.
of my head, I don't know.
Yeah, Tom, it's buried deep in there somewhere.
That's what I'm saying, off the top of my head. I
Fourth
don't
grade.
know,
American. Hold on, we're still not done with you. We're celebrating independence. What does that mean exactly? Independence from who?
4th of July, what year? Come on.
Hold on, don't give it away.
Come on, man. You put him on the spot. You put him on the spot.
He needs a safe space. 4th of July weekend, we celebrate the Civil War victory, the North over the South, freeing of the slaves. What are you going to be doing to commemorate that?
It's a good question. Probably just out with family, friends, you know, enjoying ourselves. We're out in San Diego, you know, we got to enjoy the sun, the surf, the weather, good people.
What year was the Declaration of Independence signed?
That, my friend, has been a long time for me.
4th of July weekend, we sort of celebrate John Wilkes Booth, Jesse Ventura, the other founding fathers. Who's your favorite founding father?
My favorite founding father is...
8 years old.
Who you got to pick out of?
Oh no, who are my choices?
This isn't multiple choice.
Oh, okay. Founding father, Jesse Ventura.
Who?
That's my favorite. That can't be your favorite. You got to pick another
Can't be
one.
mine.
He's a wrestler in the movie.
I don't even have one.
Don't even have one.
That's why I said
if you
who?
had one, what would it be?
Who would you say?
Big hot shit.
Nope, no, we'll get to you next. Okay, we better get to you next.
Tell me.
Favorite founding father?
Dang, I don't know what my options is. I'd say Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Yeah. I don't know what my options are.
Wrong answer.
You like these dumb young
4th of July weekend, we are celebrating our independence from China.
Okay.
Just checking to see what people are doing to celebrate that victory over the Chinese.
Well, I mean, the families always get together, you know, and they just come to the beach and just, you know, have a good time. They just barbecue.
Smoke some weed.
Yeah, you know how that goes. But I mean, it's just a family
Forget
day.
about
you know?
our history and just have some good times, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's just having a good time. I think
have
most
too good
people,
of a time, I think.
most people forgot what it's
They
really about.
definitely have.
But
Thanks
I mean,
for demonstrating.
it brings everybody together, though, which is a
That's
good
all
thing.
that matters, though.
Yeah, that's really all that it's about, you know.
When we won World War II, celebrating the victory over the Axis of Evil on 4th of July, just checking to see what you're going to be doing to celebrate the victory over the Nazis this weekend.
I'm gonna go party, sir.
Party.
Probably, yes.
And lose more brain cells.
Maybe,
Possibly.
but
Definitely.
yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Thanks for demonstrating that.
Well,
We are celebrating a certain
Independence Day.
Tell us what that is exactly.
So the United States got independence from, I guess, England, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 1776.
Hey! Tell me anything
This
else?
is gonna get edited out because I didn't answer a dumb answer.
No, we
there.
like to. We're
Okay.
trying to. We're
Yeah.
trying to find someone like you.
Okay, so what about it?
One of the founding fathers.
Benjamin Franklin.
All right.
Thomas Jefferson. Alexander
Hey.
Hamilton.
All right.
John Hancock.
Yes. Thank you for thinking. That was great.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, ensure domestic tranquility to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Happy 4th of July, y'all. Have a great one.
I love being white.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to youtube.com/MarkDice for more videos almost every day. Check the playlist for previous videos from past episodes. And stay tuned. More videos coming soon.
Mark Dice didn't put out shit in the room. I wonder if he got canceled.
Don't cut all hair. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna cut my actual hair. Wouldn't make that mistake.
He called you a hoe?
Go, bro. I'll get plenty of resources. What?
Calling me
How did I get Siberia? Can I choose again?
Yo, Touche. Watch yourself, bro. 'Cause one false move, you'll be banned from the stream. One false move, you're gonna get banned from the stream.
know what to do. Yeah. It's just hair. That's why I switch it up.
You just started identifying as female 2 weeks ago.
I'm not here to talk about my transition. I'm here to kick some ass.
It's still funny, but now it's not satire. Now it's reality. This weightlifter who goes by the name Laurel Hubbard, I don't know his real name, but he's now going by the name Laurel. He will become the first transgender athlete to compete at the Olympics after being selected by New Zealand for the women's event at the Tokyo Games.
Huh?
This is a decision about the fairness and the inclusion. This fella is a big, burly dude, okay? And he's going to compete against very fit women, but he's going to be bigger and burlier than they are because he's a man, and men are bigger and stronger than women. And I suspect none of those things that I've just said are permitted any longer. I may be able to stay on social media, but I certainly wouldn't be allowed to say such a thing at a cocktail party or in a corporate HR room or in the halls of government or in a public school. We're not really allowed to say these plain facts anymore. But it is insane that a big burly dude is going to engage in a weightlifting competition next to women, and he's going to do very, very well. And we're all supposed to pretend that this is a wonderful, shocking, historic thing. South Park mocked this idea just 2 years ago. This was a punchline on South Park just 2 years ago.
Joining me now is the current champion of the Strong Woman competition, Strong Woman. Miss Woman, do you feel ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready, David. There are just so many amazing women athletes out here today. It makes me so proud.
Now, this is the first year that a trans woman is in the competition. How do you feel about that?
Amazing. I feel honored to be a part of history. I have a lot of incredible trans friends who are athletes, and so we're all inspired this woman's competing.
Uh-huh. And have you actually ever met Heather Swanson?
No, I've never competed against her before, no.
She's not exactly your average trans athlete.
Well, what is an average trans athlete? Honestly, I find that kind of bigoted, David.
Okay. Heather Swanson is actually joining us now. Miss Swanson, how does it feel to be competing today?
I can't tell you how free I feel now that I've started identifying as a woman. Now that I can compete as female, I'm ready to smash the other girls.
And is it correct you just started identifying as female 2 weeks ago?
I'm not here to talk about my transition. I'm here to kick some ass.
Sir, it's still funny, right? It's still funny, but now it's not satire. Now it's reality. That is happening. And it's not just at some random competition in the middle of nowhere. That is happening at the Olympics now. That guy, maybe without the beard, but this giant, burly dude with big muscles is going to be competing against a woman. And we're all going to have to pretend that that's totally normal and fine and good, actually. And then when he does very, very well at the competition, we all have to pretend that that's an amazing historic thing. Sometimes you will hear from the left that there is no evidence that trans women do any better or have any unfair advantage against real women. They wouldn't call them real women. They'd say it's just another variety of women. That is just fake. There was a random Twitter account called RipX4Nutmeg that posted a little thread on this last night. And this is just a handful. We do not have time to go through all of the examples. 1998 to 2012, Laurel Hubbard, that guy who's now going to be at the Olympics, failed to qualify for a single international men's tournament as a professional weightlifter. 2013, Hubbard transitions, quote unquote, at age 35. And from 2014 to 2021, Hubbard qualifies for 11 international women's tournaments, including the Olympics. I think he got an advantage. I don't know. I'm no expert. 2017, CeCe Telfer is ranked 390th among male NCAA Division II athletes in the 400-meter hurdles. In 2018, Telfer transitions to pretend to be a woman. 2019, Telfer is a national NCAA Division II women's 400 hurdle champion. 2021, Telfer hopes to qualify for the Olympics. 2013 to 2015, Hannah Mounsey made 22 appearances for the Australian men's handball team, scoring 0 goals. 2015, Mounsey transitions in 2018. Amid controversy, Mounsey is allowed to play 6 times for the Australian women's handball team, scoring 23 goals. Wow, I think Hannah may have gotten a little advantage there, maybe from his physique and his biochemistry. Before 2015, golfer Haley Davidson won 0 men's tournaments. Doesn't even look like he qualified for any tournaments. 2015, he transitions. 2021, Davidson becomes the first male to win a women's professional golf tournament. 2019, Mary Gregory, who had transitioned as an adult, takes it up. Professional women's weightlifting, and at his first tournament, won all 9 events at the 100% Raw Weightlifting Federation competition and broke 4 world records in the process. Just kind of took it up one day, but, she transitioned, so it was totally kosher. You all remember Fallon Fox. Before 2006, Fallon Fox was in the U.S. Navy. He's a dude. Then he transitioned, and then from 2012 to 2014, he becomes an MMA fighter. He won all but one of his fights, and in one fight, he cracked a woman's skull open. The list goes on. I mean, I have so many more examples of this here. Do not let them tell you that there is no evidence. There's never been an example of a trans woman having an advantage over another woman, over a cisgendered woman. It's just not true. They obviously have a built-in advantage. They win or come very close to winning almost every time under some extremely extenuating circumstances. Like some of these guys will take up the sport way late, but they'll still do better than the women. Why? Because they're bigger and stronger. Hey, stop right there. I'm glad you liked the video. There's a whole episode. Go watch it right now. You can watch it on YouTube. It's called Controlling Words, Controlling Minds. You can also listen at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher. You can subscribe there, leave a 5-star review, ring the bell, subscribe here. And speaking of Controlling Words, Controlling Minds, you can order, not pre-order, but order my book. It was just released today. Speechless. Controlling Words, Controlling Minds. Go order it. See you next time.
Gotta wake up. All right, President Biden in North Carolina encouraging Americans to get vacainated.
That was so rude.
Was it rude?
It's totally
rude. Oh, you've never been rude, have you, Geraldo?
Not today.
Yeah, you've been spending your decades, ducking chairs. Yesterday at the White House, the president blamed guns and not criminals for the surge in crime. He also tried to claim the rise in violence is because of the weather and the pandemic. And then President Biden mocked the Second Amendment.
The Second Amendment, from the day it was passed, limited the type of people who could own a gun and what type of weapon you could own. You couldn't buy a cannon. If you wanted to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons.
So, Katie, he was talking about how silly the idea is of having the Second Amendment to protect against a hostile government or whatever. Now, this is after, I don't know, a few weeks since he claimed that a few hundred...
Yo, if there's a moderator in here, I need you to block Smith for me.
MAGA protesters were a threat to the democracy, the worst threat since the Civil War.
Right.
So what's it going to be?
Well, he's trying to say both, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to say, A, he's threatening gun owners that if you dare to exercise the Second Amendment or stand up for your rights, then the government may nuke you, which is a weird position to take. And then at the same time, he's saying that people who were unarmed and didn't have F-15s or nuclear weapons who went to the Capitol on January 6th are also capable with nothing to take over the government. So that argument doesn't fly. But when it comes to what the argument he's trying to make, he's very out of touch with the current situation when it comes to firearms. First-time buyers last year, 40% of them were women. More than 50% of them were African Americans. The left is losing this argument. They're trying to continue this narrative that the only people who buy guns are white supremacists. That's just not true. It's borne out by the data. And the bottom line is that they are buying guns, if you ask them why, to protect themselves from criminals, because all of these people who are in charge in Democratic cities are taking away their police. So they're their last defense, they're their only defense, and they're trying to make sure that they exercise their rights because they're under really tough situation with the crime right now.
You know, Jesse, last night we saw an attack on a police station after drug dealers were arrested. I think that was in North Carolina. Am I right?
Yeah.
So these are things that the Democrats ignore. But and as they release looters and decide that they're not going to charge people who were rioting. But the good news is we were able to get sentence a grandmother. Did you see that? We sentenced a grandmother? Yes, we sent an Indiana grandmother for entering the Capitol on January 6th. We did. Yes, to 120 hours of community service.
Oh,
so she got 120 more hours than Hunter Biden did for violating his gun law.
Geraldo said she had it coming. God, you are tough, Geraldo.
Now think about it. Hunter Biden violated the same gun laws.
10 years in prison, a felony.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about it.
But at least we got that
zero
grandmother.
tolerance. Right.
So when Joe Biden says the F-15 thing, that's a straw man argument he got from Barack. Remember Barack always said, what do you need a bazooka for? You do that because you're trying to make the other side look crazy. Right. You're crazy if you want to protect yourself.
What do you need a bazooka for?
No one needs a bazooka. That's the point. You just fell for the straw man argument, Geraldo.
Speak for yourself.
So they'll defund the police, trigger a crime wave, and they say, what do you need a gun for? Or they'll bail out deranged homicidal maniacs. Well, what do you need a gun for? The McCluskeys, they get a rifle. BLM comes to their hood, starts yelling at them. They get indicted by a Democrat. We need guns because we don't trust the criminals and we don't trust the government. Not necessarily in that order. We rely on ourselves, and that's why the Democrats don't like that. We're self-reliant, and we don't rely on them.
The best thing about the McCloskeys, they had to turn in their guns. The moment they turned them in, they went and bought them. They got a bigger one. That's an American, Geraldo. I think the issue here is they can't identify the problem because that goes right back to the cause, which is their policies. Right?
No, but the Second Amendment, as currently construed, and even people who love me get mad at me when I say it, is stupid. Katie's position is one thing.
Yeah.
You know, African-American women buying pistols and so forth. But what do we need these heavy weapons
AR-15s.
for? But what do we need AR-15s for? You can't hunt with this.
Yes, you can.
I have hunted with one.
Biden told, I don't know what you were hunting. Biden told
little rats in the river.
President Biden told the joke badly yesterday about the deer wearing Kevlar, and then he apparently forgot he had told the joke. He told the same joke about 2 minutes later.
He forgot.
But I mean, you don't need I think that these heavy weapons should have at least the same kind of requirements for qualifications as you do to drive a truck. At least have some instruction about what it is you're buying, what it is the policy.
There are more people killed every year by hands and fists and hammers than there are by AR-15s.
And also, this is not having any dent in what we're experiencing in this massive spike of handguns.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
that's not the story.
Yeah, Dana, there was something he said yesterday that I keep. Remember he was saying that there are criminals living under bridges? Do you remember that part? And that was part of the problem. The criminals living under bridges, and we need to figure.
Also, we need to have community programs for summer jobs.
Yes, there you go.
Kind of thing. Yeah. You said that they need to be busy and they need to be not on the street. Like, well, they were kept out of school for a year.
Yeah.
For example, what was that all about? Yesterday, the president found a way to make everybody mad.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are in favor of gun control, you're mad because there was nothing new there.
Right.
If you are a community leader wanting to work on the problems in your community, you're mad because they're not coming to help you.
Mm-hmm.
They're dealing with something that is what the Republicans are mad about, which is that they're not talking about the root cause.
Mm-hmm.
So now everybody's mad.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes.
Good job, Joe.
Well, they often say a great leader gets everybody pissed off, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if this fits that.
Neither do I. I was just being diplomatic because Geraldo called me rude. And that hurt my feelings.
I'm delighted.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
Here's how to cancel a subscription with Truebill. Open the app, go to the Recurring tab, and here you
But first, Joe's European. America's top podcaster, Joe Rogan, laying the smackdown on CNN's Brian Stelter after the whiny hall monitor complained that certain YouTube personalities get more viewers than, well, his network.
They were saying, there's people on YouTube right now that get more views than this show. This is because the market is spoken. Right. And your show's terrible. Brian Stelter talking to the press secretary saying, what are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong? Like, hey, you're supposed to be a journalist.
Gregory, the floor is yours.
Well, okay, so this is, it's very difficult, when your adversary, CNN, is on a downward spiral because you no longer enjoy the spectacle of its demise because we know there are good employees behind the scenes at CNN who don't deserve to be fronted by lying clowns and public masturbators. But I want, you got to feel bad about like this, a CNN tech director or hair and makeup, who don't get the same chances that Toobin's got. There are 3 mistakes that CNN makes that they should fix. And I made some notes right here. And I'd like to help you guys, okay? Be honest. Be honest. Label your commentators as commentators. Our audience knows the difference between me and Bill Hemmer. He's news, I'm commentating, and better looking. There's no distinction at CNN between news and commentary, hence why they have no trust. Because they pretend their opinions are facts, and we all know. They also deny the gulf between their own thoughts and what they say. We know what Chris Cuomo really, really thinks outside of his job because we've seen it. He's an example of that phoniness where he acts one way and gets in trouble, and then he's on the news saying something else. We know that hypocrisy. It has been documented. They also have to address their obsession with Fox. Right now they have 2 employees devoted to watching Fox. Their devotion, though, is in watching us express opinions, not facts, yet they act like we are spouting facts. It's almost as though we are sitting at a bar having drinks and there's an eavesdropper, like a little portly guy with glasses, who's sitting there taking notes going, oh my God, I can't believe they're saying this. I got an expose. You go, no, we're just actually, there's no gulf between what we say and what we think. That's why The Five is successful and why CNN is a disaster, is you can see the gulf every time they talk because they're so damn phony. So now I still feel bad about them, but I'm trying to help you guys.
Did you get through everything?
I did.
I know you got more.
Yeah, I got a whole book. I'm writing a whole book on CNN. It's called Stelter Sucks. No, I'm kidding, because he has a book on Fox.
But Jesse, Brian Stelter has an audience of 1, and it's Jeff Zucker. How's Matt Lauer, by the way? And that's the problem, is that he solely exists as a mouthpiece, a useless, whiny mouthpiece for his boss to try and, hammer us, take us down.
I don't like
they
to
can't beat us.
say Stelter's name because he likes to hear me say his name. So I'm just going to say the CNN guy. And I'm not the same as Greg. I don't like to personally attack by name because I might run into Chris Cuomo at a bar and I don't want to be uncomfortable. Greg would be very uncomfortable if that happened. So I will just say this.
I wouldn't.
Well, maybe. I would just say this. Perhaps these guys are cool guys off camera. I don't know them. But he's a snob. Brian Stelter. He's a snob, and he doesn't deserve to be a snob. And he doesn't realize he's being snobby by trying to look down on someone like Joe Rogan, who has the #1 show on Spotify, who is an anchor of a hit network show, who basically covers the UFC from right there in the ring. The guy's career is here, and he's looking down at his little nose at Joe Rogan, who's up here. What is he doing? Stelter could get off a plane, walk through, get a cab, check into the hotel. No one would even know he was in that city. Joe Rogan could go, he can't go anywhere without getting pulled over like that. So why does he get cocky and wag his finger at a platform that he should actually cover as a media reporter? There's all these new platforms that have all these great market shares and are breaking ground, like Rogan is breaking ground. He should actually write good things about Joe Rogan. So I don't know what he's doing over there, and I kind of feel sorry for the guy.
Which one? Rogan?
No, I don't feel sorry for Rogan at all.
Because in this day and age, you get attention by attacking somebody. And
I would never do that.
You would never pick a fight with anybody for attention.
Well, I always say, if you don't have anything nice to say, come sit next to me. But go ahead.
And here I am sitting next to you. But I do have some nice things to say. I would first like to clarify that no one is in jail for their entire life because they smoked a joint. But there are a lot of people in jail unnecessarily for crimes.
You're not getting out of talking about Stelter.
I am going to get out of it as I think I'm the only person on the panel
there for drug offenses.
Thank you, Kenny Daly. No. Yeah. Anyway, so as the person on the panel who I think would be on the friendliest terms with these people, I'd like to talk about the substance of Joe Rogan's criticism, which is about not recognizing the strength of these alternative platforms, which really is where everything is going, right? Everyone has created a streaming service. We at Fox Nation, they're creating CNN Plus for a reason. Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon have a new podcast coming out, right? Because they're moving to alternative forms. And that really is...
Can you imagine that?
I think you can listen to it next week.
Oh, my God.
They're sending it to Gitmo. They're replacing it. Very exciting.
But that really is, I mean, Jesse's right about that Joe Rogan is reaching hundreds of millions of people all across the world. He has, a bigger bank account than anyone could hope to, who certainly has a TV show. I mean, I wish everyone success at this table, but that's just the way that it is. And that people hate traditional models and they want to hear alternative points of view in an unfettered environment where they say what they mean.
Rogan picked up on what Stelter was saying because it's the same attitude about Fox News. They want to essentially, they can't win at anything unless there's no competition. That's how much they suck. And so that's kind of the nut of it. And Rogan gives a damn about people being able to speak their minds because he's a comedian and he's friends with Chappelle, he's witnessing the death of comedy, or was, until these men with screw you money step up and say, you know what, nothing's off limits. We're going to talk about all of it. Even if Brian Stelter gets upset.
Yeah. Well, CNN took a lot of heat when they started from network news organizations. They're like, news doesn't belong in cable. It's like conservatives aren't going to watch the news. What is this Fox News? And they were proven wrong. So they should sit down and read about it and try and figure out with curiosity, why is this working instead of poo-pooing it? It's like listening to Janet Yellen rail against Bitcoin. She doesn't understand it. It's the same thing with all these institutionalists who have a hard time with cryptocurrency because younger people are sick of centralized banking and fiat currency, and they want something new that they are in control of. It's the same thing with podcasting and non-traditional media.
I know. I've been talking to young people come up to me all the time and go, what's up with fiat currency?
Exactly right. You go to some of these libertarian conventions, they will say that.
Oh, I know. That's why I don't go.
I know. I like 20-somethings wanting the gold standard back. Hey,
Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
Let's go, girls. Hertz. Rent the car. Own the memory. I see it, and I like it, and I want it. Yes, I do.
I talked about Joe Biden and the WhiteHouse.gov. We provided the sources we always do, louderwithcrowder.com. Yeah. His proposal for effectively the gun registration, the gun ban. Yeah. But he just spoke yesterday again on his intent to sort of curb gun violence, specifically in these major cities. Of course, this tantamounts to more gun control, to more federalized authority. But you knew that. So I don't want to get into the registration, the buyback, because we have already done that. You can just search that at louderwithcrowder.com. Don't try and search it on YouTube because you will find nothing. Surprise. But he just made a claim yesterday that the left has been making for a very long time. Okay. And it's verifiably incorrect about this is the common blame game, right? Well, if you look in these big cities, they're actually getting guns from elsewhere. It's not the big city's fault. But he made a very specific claim because he said the quiet part out loud. They probably said, don't say...
I think just remember.
Don't say that people are pointing out that gun crime is a problem in major liberal cities because that's a deadlock. So don't say that. And then he said that. Here you go.
We discussed disrupting illegal gun trafficking. Now the gun lobby wants you to believe that cities that are the toughest gun laws still have the highest rates of gun violence.
Correct.
As was pointed out by the group we had today in our roundtable. The violence is, so they argue, why do you need those gun laws if they don't work in cities that have tough laws? Don't believe it. Here's the truth. Today's conversation with Mayor Scott of Baltimore, for example, echoed what we know to be the case and hear from mayors all across the country. Mayors have the power to help shape and enforce the laws in their cities, but they can't control the laws in neighboring cities and states, even though the gun legally bought there often ends up in their streets. Mayor Scott says that 80% of the guns in Baltimore were acquired outside the city. Outside the city.
Is that a fact, Mayor?
There's little he can do about that.
By the way,
So we have to act.
I love what he says. A lot of people say, and they use these verifiable stats and statistics, but the mayor told me no.
So are we with it?
But it's not our fault. Piece of shit. I'm sorry. I'm so tired of this guy. I'm so tired of someone there is no
It's only
standard
been
to the
6
left.
months.
If that was Donald Trump, and we're going to get to California, we don't need to dump that. That's okay. I believe the former vice president is a piece of shit. Okay, this is a lie. He just takes stats, right, facts, and then says the mayor said no. If it were Donald Trump, they would say, "Where are you getting that, sir? Where are you getting that?"
Yeah.
They would never.
Source.
They did the same thing. We'll get to it in a little bit in California with wildfires and not the brush.
Oh.